Hey traders, TG Watkins here. Today I'm going to be talking about how to not panic during pullbacks. Now this was a conversation in our room the other day because, the market's been doing pretty well. But as the market gets going up like this, we tend to get used to it very quickly. And then any kind of down move or any kind of red or negativity in our account has us kind of like, ooh, what's going on? We like to see green every single day, but that's just not the reality. So I'm going to go through and show you guys some of the top things that I look at and how do I make sure we don't panic during pullbacks, and I also have some tickers that we can look at to help assess that. All right, so for me as a stock trader, kind of the number one thing is to use stops. And whether it's a mental stop, you can do that, but you better respect them. I think newer traders try to use mental stops, but then what happens is it comes down, it kind of hits that spot where you drew a line and said, oh, I should be out. And you're like, well, maybe just a little bit further. Maybe they'll turn around, I'll just give it some room. And then next thing you know, a small loss turns into a big loss. So whether it's a mental stop or a real stop, use them, have a get out point, because you know what? Markets always change, things always change, news happens, and you just can't always trust a stock. So instead of having something that's going against you day after day after day and really taking up some mental bandwidth, move on from that thing. If it's not working, cut it, and then your mind will become freer, your account will be doing better, and you can then have the clarity to get back in it or pivot if you need to for something else. So have that kind of level to get out. Options. Defined risk. No matter if the stock gaps down or goes against you or news comes out, you know exactly how much you're going to lose because, well, 0 is the number. And that's how you set up your risk. Is you pretty much, for what I do, is you always plan for your option to go to 0. That is your max loss. The difference, though, is with stock, you have to use more capital, basically, and the stock could always go to 0. So that's a huge number. Or even if you have a 8% stop, well, what happens if the next day it gets news and it gaps down 30%? Totally possible. Well, so much for your 8% stop loss, right? So that is one way to also mitigate losses, or to just make sure that you don't have to worry about panicking during down things, because, well, you've already committed to this. You've set up your trade. You set up the duration of your options, and basically you said, this is the trade. It's either going to work or not work, and you let it play out. And that's one way to kind of have an easier mental situation. Take profits. Peace of mind gives you some cushion. When you have big moves that are going up, take profits, because that way, even if it comes back around, even if it comes back to your entry, you get out back at your entry, you still made some money. Even though it came all the way back down, you still made some money, and you have that cushion to work with. And this is where I wanted to show you guys the example of DXYZ. This is a Destiny. It's kind of a SpaceX type play. I got in with the Moxie room right around there. We added to it right there. And this was a really, really big move. Now, we took profits right here. And you can see it still continued to come up one more day. And look at this. This was a big mover. From where I took profits to where it went even up here, 37%. That's a big move. And then look, the very next day came right back down, and even came down about 2% less from where we got out. That's going to create some account fluctuations for you, especially if you've had a bigger position, or even just a decent sized position. Going up 37% for one ticker and then right back down, yeah, that's going to cause some account fluctuations. So this is why I talk about, you want to take some profits, whether you took profits here or took profits here. That means that when it came all the way back down here, I was cool as a cucumber. I didn't have to worry about it, because even if it pulled back even further, what if it pulled back all the way down to, say, 40? Totally fine, because I already took some money. Even if it came back to my entry, I still made money, even if I have to get out at that point. So this is where, on the way up, you always want to pay yourself when you can, not when you have to. And then you kind of say, I'm cool. I will just let this thing ride for wherever it wants to go. Then another one we can talk about is, what's the trend? And I think this is kind of the bigger situation of, if we're panicking during a pullback, if something is not in an uptrend, then when the market pulls back, this thing will go down even further. It'll just accelerate to the downside. So I think you need to look at this, and you have to really kind of step back. And honestly, this is something that I would do as a newer trader. We have big screens, and I would look at the stock. I'd look maybe at the daily or the hourly chart. Maybe I'd even look at the weekly chart, and I'd really just step back and see the whole picture. Because a lot of times we keep zooming in. We're looking at the smaller time frames, the 15 or the 5 minute or something like that, and that's just too much noise. Step back, look at the overall picture, look at your moving averages, and just say, is this thing in an uptrend, or is it in a downtrend, or is it in a pullback in an uptrend? And those are some different categories to really be understanding. And so this is where if it is not working for you, maybe you're actually in a downtrend, and maybe you've caught a bounce in a downtrend, and maybe the thing's just not ready. And these are some of the stuff. So for example, let's take another look. So there's a SMR, small modular reactor, the nuclear names. And you can see in here, there were certainly some large pullbacks, in through here. They were pullbacks in an uptrend, but in the interim, if you were in here trying to go higher, and yet the market was pulling back or this was pulling back and it just kept getting worse, then you need to recognize, hey, you got the 8 below the 21, technically that's in a downtrend. You've got price below the daily 50, kind of that's technically in a downtrend for that. So you might be suffering for a small term downtrend in the larger picture. And if that's the case, then you should not be adding to this, or you need to be careful about that. You need to be aware of if it's just a pullback right there, indefinitely an uptrend. That looks pretty good. Or anywhere in here where these are little dips on the uptrends. And so if you can kind of, once again, if you take some profits here, then you can be more comfortable writing this out, and you kind of come up here, and once again, if it comes down, then you're really no worse off. And this is how you kind of manage these things. But if you were trying to go long anywhere in here, and then the market pulls back, and every time it goes up and then comes down, it goes down further, then you just need to look back and say, that is definitely not in an uptrend. And that's why I might be suffering, is because I'm just wrong. I'm just wrong on this position. I keep thinking it's going to go up. Maybe you think it's going to go up here, but then it just gets hammered. You're just in the wrong kind of trend, and the market and this ticker is not working for you. And those are some of the things you need to recognize about what is the trend. Okay. And then we'll just kind of finish off with this. Again, I got a couple more examples. Position size. Too much on one ticker can stress you and your account. Okay, just like that DXYZ account trade, it was up 37% in one day, and the very next day it came back down. If you have half your account in one ticker like that, yeah, it's going to be a hard time. And this kind of reminds me of when we did the SOXL trade, and I made 2,000% in 30 days. It turned, I think it was $47,000 into $719,000. Pretty nice trade. Yeah, it was right here. And that was all based on the tariff tantrums and stuff. Now, I put 90% of my options account into this trade. Yes, it was a big deal, but it was $47,000. It was my options account. I got lots of other money behind me. I knew that even if this didn't work, I'd have to put more money into that account. That's okay. My stock account is big. I got other things to work. So just because it was 90% of this account, I knew that if I blew it up, I'd still be okay. But trust me, it was still a nail biter. There was a lot of stuff going on with politics, all that, the China tariff, all that stuff. And it was a real nail biter right here, because I knew that there was some news events that were going to be coming out. And I was up significantly at this point, and it was going into the weekend, all that stuff. And I remember I couldn't even sleep Sunday night because we were waiting for Besant and whatever to negotiate and stuff like that, and for that news to come out. And finally, we heard the good news. The futures were opened. This thing was gapping up, and I just couldn't sleep. And it's because, I had 90% of my account here. Now, fortunately, it worked out to the good side. But just imagine if you have 90% of your account in a trade that isn't going well for you, and you can't sleep. Okay, that's not healthy for you. That's not healthy for your account. And that's where you need to make sure that you aren't oversized in any particular trade, unless you know what you're doing, and unless you have plenty more money behind you to add in case it doesn't go well. All right, so then also market conditions. This kind of goes back with what's the trend, but is the market strong or not? And this is where, if we do look at the SPX, and we have to take some account of where things are going, because if we look back either this situation or this situation, if the market's not good, and if you keep trying to push the trades and keep trying to go higher or trade long, unless something is really bucking the trend, you are fighting the market overall, and no wonder that it's not working. You need to really recognize market conditions. Now, in the case of here or even here, yeah, the market is pretty extreme. It's pretty elevated. Yes, there will be pullbacks, but for the most part, you can see that the market continued to go higher. So generally speaking, dips in through here were essentially or eventually buyable. You just have to be careful about that. And that's the other thing. You don't really, even through here, you don't want to be getting too aggressive on the long side when the market is getting too extreme up here. You can just see. And so this is, again, market conditions, even smaller market conditions. When the market's really extended, be prepared that if the market pulls back, that's going to also affect your particular ticker. And so you just need to know what is the backdrop, because you need to be able to ride these things out. If the market pulls back, give yourself some room, because if the market pulls back a little bit, some fast moving stocks can pull back a lot. And that's what you need to be able to account for, and just say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be really getting more and more extreme or loaded up on the long side when the market is already getting a little bit long in the tooth. So that's some of the stuff that I'd be looking at. All right, so let's bring this down. And then, so remember, guys, to hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. And remember, simplertrading.com/Moxie. I am starting to add a QR code. So if you guys are on your desk or something, you want to take a little picture of that, you can get your QR code. That'll send you right to simplertrading.com/Moxie. $7 for a 30-day trial if you guys want to come in, see how I'm doing. The market's been fun, so we're having a great time with it. In fact, we just had earnings on a name and it went straight up. So it's been a good day so far, and I'm looking forward to this market being strong for a while, especially now that this year and last year we had 20% and a 10% correction. That was a good reset for the market. Let's continue carrying this on, and would love to see you guys in the room, and you guys take care. Thanks.